got to give you credit for this, because...
For what?
I keep telling you this story, and I'm telling the story to anyone who will listen. I would not be in this room, and this is not a blow and smoke.
Don't be blaming me.
This is not a blow and smoke exercise, right? I was in a bit of a pickle one day because I was down a rabbit hole with a really bad deal that I was about to
Steve,
get
I've told you
into.
about them sites on the internet. You need to be careful with them.
Well, yeah.
The National Crime Agency, we have to do with them.
Cancel all my OnlyFans subscriptions.
The fact they got more than one.
I know. So yeah, I was basically down the rabbit hole with this really bad deal, and I was about to sign that day. I don't know if it was just the grace of God or whatever, but you rang me that day for some trivial reason.
The air, it's in the air.
Yeah, it was something was in the air that day, and I said, Adam, can I pick your brains? And you just went, fuck it off. You just went,
I'm always known for my my subtlety.
Yeah.
For things like that. Yeah, but it was a bad deal.
It was a bad deal, and
I don't know.
I was blinkered. Actually.
I don't know how to sit in these chairs. They're a weird chair, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, I'm good with this. I'm like, I feel like I need someone to put my feet on. I can't remember what the chairs were like in the other one. These weren't the chairs from the other one, were they?
In the other one, they were basically just desk chairs.
I like these though. They're nice.
And do you know what? The other place was great, but I was about to I had to get out of there. I didn't have to get out of there technically, but yeah, time was ticking, and
I think you just outgrown it. That was
yeah, and I couldn't achieve the stuff I want to achieve in that room, but I was blinkered because I was just trying to get the fastest deal, not the best deal, and I wasn't looking for any. And you said to me, Have you looked at anything else? And I was like, not really. And literally, this was around the corner. And that day, I literally rang them up, viewed it, and I was like, now I know.
Yeah, but it's easy to do, isn't it? I have some wonderful lines that seem to hit home with people. One of the ones I've got recently with someone from the Boomerang Group is, you're not fucking O2, so don't do rollover.
Yeah.
That's with Chris Williams, who was doing consultancy work and giving them 3 days a month as part of the retainer, and then rolling it over if they didn't use it. He said, you're not O2, and he's actually used it with the client. He's actually used that line with the client. The client was like, "Oh, sound can I get roll the days over?" No, I'm not fucking O2. Don't roll them over. But look what you built now.
I know. So,
and you've got space to expand in here now.
Well, dude, in the business plan that I thrashed out at the beginning of last year, this was all meant to happen this time in 2026. So basically,
it's only 2 weeks away, Steve.
This time next year.
Oh, right.
Next year. So
well, it's still 2026, isn't it? So
yeah, but do you know what? do you know what though? Like, I feel like I've crammed about 2 years worth of work into about 6 months, and the lesson that it's taught me is I don't have to go slow. You can do stuff at a pace.
Well, I would say the lesson is that best laid plans disappear out the window when something comes up.
Yeah, 100%.
You can make all the best plans in the world and go, oh, I'm going to do this on this date, and I'm going to do this, and an interesting one for me is when it comes to people wanting to sell their business with the stuff I do, and people go, oh yeah, I want to be out in like 5 years' time, and I go, okay, cool. So if someone walks in tomorrow and offers you 10 million quid, you're going to turn them down. Oh no, fine. So plans change. That's what they're there for, and you've got to review them and go back to them. 100%. And actually, sometimes, like when we spoke about this place and we spoke about your other bit, that was the wrong decision.
Yeah.
And I understand why you were making it, and I understood like the reasons you were going down that route. But actually, if you'd have done that, you'd have been stuck. Your plans would have been about right for December next year, but you'd have been stuck in a lease, going, how do I get out of this?
Yeah.
And instead, all right, you might have pushed your plans forward a little bit, also pushed yourself a little bit out your comfort zone financially as well to go, I need to get stuck into this.
Definitely, like I've always kind of prided myself on, staying in the green and making a bit of profit every month. And it's the first time I've not made money like for like the last 3 months. Like I've been
scary, isn't it?
It's scary, yeah. And I've learned loads. To be fair, I feel like I'm just a better business person as well. But someone just handles business better. But knowing how much I've spent in here on equipment and sets and all sorts, deposits and everything, if I went into the other place, I would have been. It would have been.
Well, you were just limited on capacity with the other one. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, but even in that other deal, like, I mean, if I went into that one, it would have been crippling financially. I mean,
Yeah.
But
so you got a better deal, you got a better space,
yeah,
and you got better investment and better opportunity.
Yeah. So 2026 is looking great, to be fair. But it is that thing of like, oh, new levels, new devils, and all that. Like,
New levels, new devils.
Yeah. So you get to it, and you think, oh, when I get to this place, it'll be a bit easier, and then, like, there's challenges we've got now that we've got to face, and then I'm sure next year when we achieve them goals, there'll be new challenges again.
Yeah, of course there will be.
Yeah.
But
that's just that's the game.
Why would you not want the challenge?
I know, that's what it is. I was talking to Jay McConville about this on the podcast.
Oh.
It's like
that man is just if you like, I'm lucky enough to spend a bit of time with Jay, and I have the most amount of time and respect for him that I can think of.
He calls it gold medal syndrome, and we actually coined this term back in the 2012 Olympics when I was a PT. We actually called it Olympian syndrome, but it's the same thing. So basically what it is you have like a framework for like 4 years. You're an Olympian, and you have a framework for like 4 years, all the structure, all the training, all the programming, and then you get to, like, say, the 100-meter final or the swimming thing, and they do the final, and then they get the medal, and then all of a sudden they're back home the next day, they're twiddling their thumbs going, what do we do now? I was like, and then they realise at that point that all the thrill and all the enjoyment comes from the doing, the getting ready for it, not the peak itself.
Yeah, it's the work. The bit at the end is.
Well, he climbed base camp, Jay McConville and the team, didn't he?
Yeah.
All the guys from Evidence Code. And Jay said, literally on the podcast, he said, the worst part of climbing to base camp was the moment after we peaked, and I put it on Instagram and whatever, and then he had 40 miles to come back down.
And then it's like, then what?
Yeah. So we'd already got to the top, and now I've got 40 miles to go.
The highest achievement followed by the biggest disappointment of your life.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? So
but
actually...
that happens, doesn't it?
And
but you've got to... For me, it's about part of, like, with the stuff you're doing, it's looking for the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the new challenge? What's the next bit? What do I do next?
I love the idea of, like, big ideas.
Oh, you and your big ideas thing.
I love big ideas. I'm fascinated by it, to the point where I'm like pretty much down a rabbit hole, like, of the psychology of ideas. But what do you think? Like, I ask you, someone who's been in business a long time, what do you think it is, like, that makes, like, the best ideas successful and, like, other good ideas not so much successful?
Commitment.
Yeah.
Is it like you meet a lot of people who come up with great ideas, but a great idea is complete bullshit unless someone's actually committed to it.
Yeah.
Unless someone's prepared to, like you have financially, it's really easy to crack along and keep doing what you're doing. But if you're going to commit to it and put your arse on the line, and the amount of people that I meet who are new startups and new people who are going, oh, I'm still doing my day job until I get to that. I'm still doing this until I get. I'm still doing this until, and at some point you've got to understand what pressure is. There's an old. Sorry, because I'm a golfer, so I've got old golf sayings. But there's an old golf saying of Lee Trevino, who was a famous American golfer, and Trevino used to say, "You don't know what pressure is until you're playing for $5 and you've only got $2 in your pocket." And that's about, like, if you put your arse on the line and you've got to pay the bills and you've got to pay your mortgage, then I guarantee you'll make your idea work. But if you haven't got that commitment to go and say, no, stuff it, I'm done, I'm going to go and do what I want to do and I'm going to commit to it 100%, then it'll tick along and it'll do okay, and you might have the best idea in the world, but it'll just tick along and it'll potter along. And I think, you've got to... For me, that commitment is what makes people's big... Like, you have some amazing people on this podcast. You have some great people on who come with amazing ideas, and some of them have brilliant businesses, and some of them are at a lower level where they're starting up. But if you look at all those people who have built their big ideas that you ask them about, because I watch enough of yours to see the big idea stuff, and they've all done the same thing, which is, I've got this big idea, I've committed to it 100%, and I'm going with it. And they make it work, and that's what makes it work. If you, Like, you just look at all the people you have on here. They've all done the same thing. They've all got commitment level.
Yeah.
They're all bought into it 100%. If you've bought into it 50% and you're still doing your day job, I get people have bills to pay. And you have to live and you have to do all the things you do. But if you put yourself in that pressure environment, like you have with this place, and gone, actually, I'm going to invest in all my kit. I'm going to invest in all the stuff I'm going to do. I'm going to like put my arse on the line a bit, knowing that I've got missus and kids and I've got, Christmas to pay for and I've got all these things to pay for, but I'm still going to do it. You'll make it work, and you're making it work.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. You haven't got any choice, have you?
And all the stuff that we got next year coming up, and like the stuff that we want to do next year concept-wise, I mean, some of my ideas are totally out there.
Yeah, but you'll commit to them, won't you?
Yeah.
And because you commit to them, you'll get them done. If, it's a bit like the guys, like Tom from Adventure Code doing the Everest Base Camp we just talked about. That's a big idea that people would go. And when I spoke to Tom last week, and he said, "Oh, I want to go and summit next."
Yeah.
It's like, how much is summiting? $45,000. Yeah, $45,000.
Yeah.
I said, oh well, that's a big difference then, because it's dollars.
Colourful again.
But that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
But that's a really interesting one, that you get the chance to summit.
Yeah.
Might not happen,
yeah.
but you're still paying the money, and but that's what he wants to do. But he's brought that whole thing together of, like, from running little walks into Lake District in Wales and places like that to where he is now. To but that's commitment. He's committed to it 100%. He doesn't you can't go into that half-arse, can you? You can't go into it and go, oh yeah, I'm going to give it a go.
100%.
I'm going to give it a go at taking people to base camp, and I'm sure Jay no doubt told you about some of the challenges they had going up there, and like people being poorly and stuff like that. To be able to cope with that, and the team around him, you've got to commit, haven't you?
That's what Tim was saying about when we talked about big ideas. He said, like, sometimes the idea is great, but the person behind it can't actually do it. So, like, in that situation, you can say, oh, yeah, you're feeling poor, just push through. Actually, I can't push through because die.
No, and I spoke to someone about this week, about the fact that, like, working for yourself is not for everyone.
Yeah.
And you have to be honest about it. And there are, I get, since COVID, we had side hustle, didn't we? Everyone's got a side hustle. Oh, I've got to have a side hustle. I've got to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to drop ship. I'm going to do that. Okay. And honestly, it's not for everyone. There are certain people in the world that are built for going to work. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to go to work, go to work. I would struggle these days to go work for someone, and someone would struggle to employ me because of the businesses that I have developed, and probably the same for you.
Yeah.
But there are also equally more people that would struggle to do what I do and have any idea. My mum still has no idea what I do. After 27 years, she still says to me, so what do you do for a job? I'm like, Mum, I've done the same thing for 27 years. Yeah, but what do you really do? Like, because she's a teacher, and that's all. Well, she was a teacher, retired, but she was a teacher, and that's all she ever knew. So she knew structure and go to work, you get a job, you go to work, you get a pension, you work until a certain age, and you stop and you're done. She doesn't get the concept of, like, what I do, doesn't get the concept of what my brother does. My brother runs his own company as well. But we're both...
What does your brother do?
He's a senior civil engineer.
Nice.
He's my big brother. So he's like... We're best of mates, but he's the opposite to me.
Yeah.
So he likes getting his hands dirty. He likes being on a digger. He doesn't these days because he sits in an office, but he loves doing that stuff. But he runs a big civil engineering company.
I love it, mate. I love it.
But my mum still doesn't get it. She doesn't, and certain people will never understand that. And certain people will go, "Oh, I don't know how you. Why do you never stop working? Why are you working 7 days a week?" It's like, well, why do you work 7 days a week? You don't stop, do you? It doesn't turn off.
No. It's hard to plan, like, holidays and stuff for that reason. But I had a similar thing.
I hate holidays.
I know.
Oh, I hate them. I shouldn't say that because I'm about to go on one, but
I had a similar thing when I was a bit younger. Like, so you leave school and the normal thing,
black and white when I left school, Steve.
In a way, well, the normal thing in a working family is like get a 9 to 5, get a good job, like train up, So after doing a few different bits, I joined a housing company, and I was a junior architectural technician. So basically a junior architect.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'd done just over 5 years in this company.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, but it wasn't like a burning passion. It wasn't something I was really getting my teeth.
But some people will stay in that job forever.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
So I got to 22 years old, and it was a 2008 recession, and I got made redundant. And because I was there just over 5 years, I got £3,700 payout. So all the money I had in the world was £3,700.
No job.
And no job and a credit card, which was like 800 quid.
Oh, happy days.
So I think I had like just short of
Four
five,
and a half.
so call it £5,000 I had, and no job. But I was balling out of control. Never had £5,000 in my life.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Yeah, I was like, let's go to the pub. Like, but I realised quickly that I didn't want to go back to the office, and then got into the fitness industry. And I was mum and dad were always like, "What are you doing? Like, you've spent 5 years being an architect. It's a great job. It's one of them jobs that your mum's proud to tell the mates that my son's an architect or whatever." But it just wasn't like a bit of passion. But what I learned at that age, really early actually, was I could only really depend on myself. Like a boss couldn't help me in a case of being made redundant. So over the years, I've had a few different jobs. Employed, and I got made redundant 3 times in my life. So I just knew early on that, the 9 to 5, if I want to make money, I could always just depend on me.
Yeah, but it's also one of them, and like I'll quite happily go and do what I need to do to make money. So if I need to go and clean toilets, I'll go and clean toilets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not asked, I'm not proud
No.
about it. I'll go and do whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it, and I'm not bothered. If I needed to make cash to do it, I'd go and do it.
Yeah.
But on the other side of it, I've always been fairly confident in my own ability to go make money and go, okay. And also to go and spend it, because I'm really good at spending it. Really good at it. But it's one of those things, isn't it, that you get, people get into that job, and as you say, the traditional route is get a job, spend the next, certainly when I was younger, because there's a bit of an age difference here. But when I was younger, it was get a job, and a job's for life. You used to have a job for, people would have a job and it would be 35 years in the same company and you wouldn't leave because that's how it was. These days, the labour market's changed massively, and people, move jobs a lot and move, every 2 years or so, there's a lot of moving jobs. Recruitment agencies help massively with that because they keep moving people around after 2 years. But, that's changed the labour market significantly. But also there's a desire of like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Because when I started working for myself, all my mates thought it was mental, because they're like, you've left a secure job to go and work for yourself. What are you doing? Like, what's that about?
Right.
And they couldn't get their head around it at all. They didn't get it. And the fact that I don't have one job and had multiple businesses and still do is mind blowing. How do you concentrate on which one you're doing? Like, well, it's not hard, is it? But I also would struggle with the mundane, Groundhog Day moment, I think.
100%. Definitely. I can't ever imagine myself going back to work for someone.
I can't imagine anyone
I
employing
always
you.
said, if it all goes tits up with the contents, if it all goes pear-shaped, I'll just go and be a spark. I'll go and retrain. Like, because I'd love to get.
But again, it's that making money thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can go make money, and you've got the desire and commitment to go and do it. So if you needed to, you go and do it and get on with it.
100%.
And that's just how it works.
Yeah, lick your wounds, do something else.
Yeah, but some people don't have that, that resilience in the locker, and they don't, and it's fine. Not everyone's got it, have they?
No.
Not everyone wants to do it, and I get people not wanting to do it. I get people. So there's someone wants to clean the floor at McDonald's, and that's what they want to do. Nothing wrong with that. Go and clean the floor. Be the best at cleaning the floor.
Yeah.
And they never want to go into management, and never want to do anything else. And some people have that desire to just sit and do the same job.
I remember watching this video like years and years and years ago, and it was like, it might have been like a motivation. I can't even think who it was, but it was like a motivational speaker of some sort. And he was like, "Look, if you're gonna go and clean the floor, clean the floor and wipe the windows. If you're gonna, if you get told to clean the floor and wipe the windows, clean the floor, wipe the windows, and do the toilets."
But some people don't want to do that. They just want to do the minimum requirement. I've got to say, I have to say, like, if I worked for someone these days, if I went and did a normal job, a 9 to 5, and had to go and do it, I would be the last one in and I'd be the first one out. I wouldn't do anything over.
Yeah.
And that's not through a work commitment thing. That's just the fact that, as you've been made redundant 3 times, you're just a number. And that's the reality of working for someone. Unless you've got someone who is exceptional. And we'll come back to Jay, because Jay's someone who, if you look at his team and the people he's built around him, the loyalty in that team and the team he's built and the way he looks after that team is huge. that's someone who you would then go and do more work for. But if you were doing a normal, big ticket job where they've got a load of staff, then why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you bother? Like,
Yeah.
why am I going to turn up early?
Yeah. Well, what really got me right? So back when I was an architect, I always remember this guy Phil, really hard worker. He stayed all hours. He just worked and he was always there in the morning, always there when we were leaving. And I think he got like I think it was like a 1,500 quid pay rise, something like that. Like 150 quid a month, 160 quid a month, something like that. And I always remember like my first PT clients when I started doing it, they paid me like 350 quid up front. I thought to myself, I've just got double his pay rise, and he's the hardest worker I've known for that company, and he's happy with that. But for me, like,
which is fine, absolutely fine.
For me, it was always like the math didn't math.
but on the other side of that, there's a massive amount of security, isn't there? In that, you've got a job that's got huge security in it.
Yeah, you can go home, peace of mind every night.
So you just turn your brain off at night when you get home. 5 o'clock, done. Thanks very much. Done, dusted. Out the door. But I've never been able to do that because I've always done over and above.
When I went to Australia, like, I loved Australia. I was there for a couple of weeks, and I remember thinking to myself, it's really laid back here, and it's really like low stress environment, and it just wasn't me, because I don't know, when my brain just needs to be stimulated a bit more and needs to be out doing stuff. And that when I had kids, that was one of the things that I had to like really adapt myself to, was like slowing just the pace of life down. Yeah,
just one of the things.
Yeah, like I mean, it's one of them where, like, I remember before I had kids, I used to get up in the morning, get a shower straight away, straight out the door. That was my life. Now you don't get a shower straight away. You take your time a little bit more in the morning. You drop the kids off at school, then you get dressed. Like, it's.
I hope you get dressed before you drop the kids off at school.
It's one of them where, like, just like, my life now at 39 is way different.
You happy with it though?
Yeah, I wouldn't swap it.
But that's all that matters, isn't it? And that's the reality for people.
It's not a life that most people would choose.
No, but that's one of the beauties of the variety of people in the world we live in, isn't it? That as long as you're happy, it doesn't matter. There's too many people who aren't happy in what they do, which is the disappointment.
I'd love to get your opinion on this as well. I look at the government and the budgets and all that's coming out now. It's just like, I mean, what I always come back to is, say you're 24 years old and you've got some ambition, boy or girl, and you've got a big idea and you really want to start it up and you really got the drive to do it and you want to fully commit to it. What incentivization is that at the moment to actually go and do it? Like, in this country anyway.
I mean,
I heard Frank Warren, the boxing promoter, on TalkSport the other day saying he feels sad because all the boxers, all the youngsters that are coming up, all the role models in boxing are all leaving the country for tax purposes.
Yeah, of course they are.
All going to train in Dubai.
Yeah, because, but look, we're not. I'm definitely not getting into politics on here, but I think
this is a politics-free zone. This podcast.
Yeah, but I think there are young entrepreneurs out there, and young, like you say, 24, got a big idea. I would just say, just go and do it.
Yeah.
Go and do it anyway. And I'm not, I've had the opportunity to travel a lot, and I've lived in lots of different countries in the world. And for me, I still love living in the UK. As much as it does my head in, I still love living here. Yeah. And there are still, everywhere you go, there are idiosyncrasies of what it's like living in different countries. And, when you spend enough time there, it's great when you go on holiday, but when you spend time there and actually live there, it does your head in. And they all do your head in. And bureaucracy is one of the most amazing things in some of the countries in the world. Like, go and spend some time in Egypt and see what bureaucracy is like. It's a whole new level of like, and the way they do things. But I think there is still opportunity for young entrepreneurs. However, they will get to a certain point where they have to make decisions from a tax efficiency way as to what they do. And I think that's one of the hardest bits now. That if someone is successful, that's the issue. Becoming successful, the opportunity is still there. When they become successful is where the difficulty lies, I think, because like what do you then do? Because if they come for advice to any of the tax specialists I work with, I know what advice they're going to give them. And I know they're going to tell them to leave. Like, your business is great, you've done really well, you've made a load of money, great, you now need to leave the country for 5 years and go somewhere else and do something with your money and then come back. If you want to come back, then come back. But, you need to mitigate some of the tax liabilities you're going to have here and deal with it. And it's a shame that that's the way, and it might change. I doubt it, but it might change. But, we are certainly not, I don't think as a country, we're encouraging people to get involved. And you look at some of the people in Liverpool, Katie Bowart, Katie, I think you've had her on here, Katie, Young Entrepreneurs Club. She's amazing. The stuff that she does is amazing, and the people that she has around her are fabulous, and she generates these young entrepreneurs. And I wish there was more of that. I wish there was more people did the kind of stuff she does, because there is still massive opportunity out there. There's still possibility for people to do. You can still borrow money and go do things, and like we have a bit of a culture in the UK of going, debt is bad. Well, actually, in business, not all debt is bad, as you know. Sometimes you've got to put your arse in line a bit. And I spoke to someone last week who's looking for investment in their business. Yeah. And my first question to them was, how much money have you put in yourself? And they went, oh, well, nothing. And I'm like, well, what are you looking for then? Yeah. I'm looking for an investor that's going to put 25 grand into my business. Okay, well, you can go borrow that money. Yeah, I know, but at that point, it goes back to that point I said earlier about commitment. You're not committed. You're not invested and committed in your own business. So if you're not committed and invested, it's not going to work.
It's resonate with me hard, that mate.
But it is, isn't it? You've got to put yourself on the line a little bit before you start looking for it. You can't look for an investor and they go, how much skin have you got in the game? And you go, oh, nothing. You're like, okay, sound. And do you know what? Sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah. But all you've done is lost a bit of money. Yeah. Go make some more of it. But so in answer to your question, I think there is still massive opportunity. I think there's still support. I think there's a lot of support that people don't know is there for young entrepreneurs. And for new startups, I think there's a lot more than people realise is there, because it's not well promoted, and the local authorities don't promote it well. The chamber don't promote it well. No one does a good job of promoting the startup stuff that's available. But if you do get in with the right people and go and speak to the right people, you suddenly find there's an access to support. But there will become a point where, from a tax efficiency perspective, you have to be sensible. And how can you blame any of the boxers and anyone else? The only one that seems to stay in the UK is Tyson Fury, who's made more than enough money to deal with his tax liabilities and not the end of the world.
I mean, he's probably an outlier, and he's probably made
massive outlier. Massive outlier. And, some of them have been very clever.
I suppose you could argue in a way that the success Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua have had in boxing, for example, that money that's generated for them, they're two outliers, trickle down into the ecosystem of boxing, right? So very interesting topic. Very interesting topic. For someone like me who's sort of a bit more seasoned, let's say, bit more. Is
that because you're going grey?
Well, bit more long in the tooth. Bit more long in the tooth. I'm not generally not a startup, but I'm not about to exit. Someone who's just in the thick of it. What you just said really resonated with me, because I've literally put 25 grand into this new room, and as I said, if it all goes tits up, I'm going to do some blue collar work maybe.
It's just money.
It's just money, yeah.
And it might be really blasé to say that, but it is. Yeah. And for me, I've been at both ends of the spectrum. I've had nothing and I've had a lot, and these days I'm somewhere in between, and I'm okay with that. I'd like to have more than I've got, and as we all would, but what am I going to do? I'll just spend it. I'll just spend it because I believe money's there. Money's an energy source, isn't it? It comes in and goes out. And do we worry about money? Yeah, of course we all worry about money, and everybody does. But I think you've got to be comfortable with the fact that if you believe in something enough, if you believe in your big idea enough, then go. There's not and people go, oh, money. Oh, I haven't got the money to do it. Go and borrow it. Go to UK startup loans. They'll lend you 25 grand. At 5%, 4.5% interest.
If you think about it, if you're lending at 5% and you're making 20% profits,
then what have you got to worry about?
Exactly.
But you've also, it will make you commit. Yeah. Because if you're worried about, I haven't got the money because I need to work, go and borrow the money. Go and borrow the money and do it. You put 25 grand into this. I guarantee you'll work your arse off to make it back.
100%. Well,
the man came through the woods.
I think one of my longer term goals I think one of my longer term goals going into maybe not next year, maybe in a few years' time, is write a book. I really love the idea of writing a book, and I'm fascinated by the idea of books and podcasts and films, because when you create something like that, you're almost creating something that's going to outlive yourself. Because a book is going to be around for a long time.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Even if it's shit, it'll be around for a long time. It might be around for even longer when it's sitting on the shelf and no one sells it.
Imagine our great nieces and nephews. And
they won't have books. They won't have books.
But imagine them going through YouTube and looking back on this podcast in 50 years' time. Like, it's mad, it's mad, isn't it? Heading into 2026, what's on the cards for Adam Jones?
I don't know. Like, everyone does this, like, goal setting and, you know, and setting my...
So everyone talks about resolutions at this time of year?
Yeah, and I don't.
No. I always do a personal recce, a business recce, and a life recce.
Do you know what? I don't. I think, I've had a few health challenges this year, which have been difficult. And in all honesty, 2026, I'm just, happy to be here. And
good.
And for me, it's made. I don't know where 2025's gone. I'll be honest. I'm not really sure where it's gone. It seems to happen more as you get older, that it just disappears quicker and quicker.
It's been a year of transition for a lot of people. Definitely has for us.
Yeah, I don't think it has for me. I just think it's just disappeared really quick. I've lost a few months of the year anyway. Not in an alcohol fog for once, but in medical stuff, which makes life disappear. But then you get to the point, it's the end of the year, and I've kind of gone. I said to my missus the other day, we went to Italy last year. She went, no, we didn't. Like, didn't we? She went, no, we went to Italy 2 years ago. I was like, oh wow, I didn't even realise. Yeah. But I think the resolution thing's interesting, isn't it? I always strive to be the best me I can be, and that's about it. And that doesn't change from 1 month to the next. It doesn't change from 1 year to the next. So I think if you're trying to do that, then you can always try and drive. I obviously want to make my business bigger this year. Yeah. I'm still on a rebuild from 3 years ago when I restarted this new one up. So it's still on a rebuild. It's still gathering clients and gathering pace. I've got potentially some new stuff for next year.
Like, kind of like business building stuff in relationships these days. Because a lot of people talk about like relationship building and.
I mean, okay. I mean, we're going to get it. We're going to get into some stuff there, aren't we? About like my thoughts on social media and things like that. Because I don't get involved.
So, for anyone who doesn't know Adam, who's watching this podcast. He doesn't like doing social media.
It's not that I don't like it. I just can't be arsed.
Yeah.
And that's really bad.
But it's quite refreshing for me to hear that, because these days all the clients we speak to and all the businesses we speak to are kind of like trying to do social media in some ways, or maybe doing it really badly in some ways, or maybe not doing social media at all. So
I know it's a big part of your business, doing the social side. And look, I've built businesses without social media, and I've built them with social media. So I've experience of doing both. I don't have a website for my business, and I do that on purpose.
So talk to me about that, because this fascinates me. So you don't have a website. You don't do social.
No.
So this is like really going back to sort of grassroots business. Is there any sort of strategy behind it? Is there any sort of thinking behind it?
Yeah, the strategy is, my customers come from strong referrals. That's where they come from. Yeah. If you've worked with me, you know who I am. Yeah. If someone you know has worked with me, you know who I am, and you know what I'm capable of, and you know what my results are. At that point, that recommendation is worth 1,000,000 times a testimonial on the website. I could produce a website tomorrow. I'll go and stick one up. I can write myself. I've done it myself in the past. I've had numerous websites in the past with different businesses. I'll go and write your website and put 100 testimonials on, which are complete bullshit. But no one would know, and everyone go, oh, it's amazing, your website looks really slick. It has to marry up with how you occur.
Yeah.
If I was to go on socials, like I've got my cousin's an influencer on Insta, and and I've got lots of people I work with who have big socials accounts, and it's just not me. I literally can't be asked. I don't have the consistency in me to post on socials all the time. I would very quickly get bored with the post. Like, I've got absolute respect for people who do it.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at, Jay is a great example of someone. He's so good at it. He's really good at doing it. He's really good at building he's built a personal brand. He's built his business brand. You know, and he is probably one of the best known car dealers in the UK on socials, I would say.
Well, he's actually, according to
Probably not even a car dealer anymore. He's just a brand.
I'm sure he said it was Auto Trader that put him in like the top 1% of like 14,000 car dealerships.
Absolutely, hats off to him.
Yeah.
It's not me. It's not what I want to do. I don't want to spend my time doing videos. I literally go on a night out and I don't even take a photograph on my phone. That's how rubbish I am.
Do you find yourself getting into like a more sort of like, as you get more experience in business, and do you find yourself becoming more of a mentor, giving people advice? Because I mean, the advice you gave me, even though it's been, you might not have even known that it's been so impactful to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just a chat.
It's literally like some of the, like, even just picking up on some of the stuff you talked about in this last half an hour or so. It's like, and it definitely, as I get a bit more seasoned in it as well, and as I start going through it, I do find myself getting into more of like a mentor, sort of passing on baton sort of.
Just become one of them that people want to talk to, don't you? And you go, yeah, cool. And I'm quite happy to talk to people, but what I'm not, like, LinkedIn advertising. Let's talk about some of the shit that goes on there. Like,
LinkedIn is basically
when did anybody ever respond to a LinkedIn message that went, "I've got something great for you"? I got nominated for an award last week on LinkedIn. Would you like to come to the awards ceremony in India? Oh, get away, go on, jog on. And I think that stuff for me is what kills it. And what I saw, well, there we go. 85% of statistics on the internet are made up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they're not, but that's just a number I've just made up because that's what happens on the internet. You just get loads of people that, and on socials, it's brilliant, isn't it? Oh, I've made £44,000 this week through trading online. Cool. Why are you on Instagram then? What are you doing? You know, there's so many questions for me that people don't necessarily ask, and we have a little bit of a thing these days where people have a face value acceptance of what they see with business owners, and I think when you start delving into the reality of that business owner and seeing if they've got some knowledge, like you say, these days you will have people come and talk to you about content because and I sat in one of your bit. I mean, granted, Steve, I turned up a little bit late, but standard for me. But you know, I sat in your presentation the other week, which is great. But some of the people in that room, they see you as a mentor in that position, and why wouldn't they? Yeah. Because you are, because you know your subject matter, but you know your subject matter and you demonstrate it. And I think there are a lot of it goes back to like fake guru types for me, where you go, cool, you know, and like I'm happy to have lunch with anyone, have a coffee with people. Costs nothing to have a coffee with me, never does. Always happy to have a chat with people, but you need to find me.
Yeah,
it's a bit like the A-Team. You know, they don't stick it on the internet and go, "We'll help you out." It's like, come and find me. Come and find me. I'll quite happily have a chat with you and sit down and have lots of mentor discussions with lots of different people. And there's a whole world of knowledge that sits inside me, but I'm not going to chuck it on socials. I was speaking to someone the other week who's a good mate, built up a good business on socials, like all based around social media. Spend 6 hours a day filming and editing content. I can't think of anything. I reckon I'd cheerfully trap my hand in the car door and repeatedly slam it in there than do that. Can't think of anything I'd want to do less.
Oh, mate, yeah.
How many hours a week do you spend filming content for yourself? Not for this stuff. So
I'm thinking it's a weird one, you know, because I'm thinking about actually getting someone to basically.
You could get someone to follow you around.
Yeah.
See, if I was going to do,
like Jamie Ray, it's got Jay Tendermix.
Yeah.
I need a Jay Tendermix in my life.
So if I was going to do social stuff, I would just give it to someone like you and go and do it. But I don't know that works, and I don't know how that works from my perspective, the stuff that I do. But I also don't know that, because the other bit that gets me as well is how quickly that can be destroyed. You know, I have friends who've got big social accounts and they're so cautious and careful. You know, one comment from someone can suddenly turn that business on its head and kill it overnight. Especially if you're a brand ambassador for different brands. And
100%. I call it the information paradox. That's a term I've coined. It's not an actual thing.
Oh, I thought it was a real thing then. I like it though.
So the information paradox is back when we started out, even 20 years ago, like before probably, information wasn't as readily available as it is now. So if we wanted some valuable information, we would have to physically go and hunt it out. Maybe go to a library or go to like one of them computer shops and get on the internet and dial.
I remember them.
Yeah. So in that sense,
Internet cafe.
Information to me, an internet cafe, yeah. So you'd see people in the middle of town, literally paying to go on a computer and have a coffee and just go on the internet. It's weird when you think about it like that, isn't it? Like how
not really. I used to be one of them people, so
now you can just get on your phone.
Yeah.
But what happened was over time. So information was valuable because it was scarce, and we had to get physically going. It was hard to get. Now it's all at our fingertips.
Yeah,
and there's more and more and more information being pumped out every second.
But what I would say about that is, people have not lost, but some people have forgotten the ability to test that information and verify it, and that's where we've gone a little bit wrong.
100%.
We've gone a little bit wrong with stuff where it's like that stat I gave you about 85% of the stats on it, and people go, "Oh right," and that would be a kind of thing that I've seen it on Facebook. Now I went to Prague last year for Christmas markets with my missus, who is a big, like, she watches Instagram and watches, like, does that thing. So we had a list of places to go and visit in Prague from Instagram, and we went and visited all these places. I would say, I think we visited 7 places. I'd say 5 of them were shit because everybody else who'd seen them on Instagram went and visit, and we then went and found. I spoke to a taxi driver because we were in a taxi, and he told us the place to go, and it was the best place we went to visit the entire time we were there, because it was a guy who was local. I said to him, "Excuse me, mate, but we now take information, and as you say, there's so much information available, and it's a 5-second on your phone now. Look for information, but we don't test and verify whether that information's actually any good. We just go, okay, that's great. That's what we'll do."
Well done it.
And I think that for me is that's where things get a little bit lost, and that's why you end up doing mentoring work like you're doing, and like I do, because you end up mentoring people because literally the information's just shit.
There's so much information out there that even if
there's so much misinformation is the problem.
Yeah, but this is the thing. There's so much information, people don't know what's true and what's not.
And they've lost the ability to challenge it.
It's almost like if me and you put this podcast out with more information on it, then it's adding more information to an already confusing pile of information.
It's a paradox for me, is being on a podcast, because I'm like, because at the end of it, you're going to go, "Oh, you can find all the links to the socials," and I go, not. But I think I've seen. I'm a golfer, so I play golf, so I think I've seen in the last 3 months, I've seen at least 10 different videos of the 10 best golf courses in Britain. And they've all been different. And what do you do with that? Like,
what would you say the best golf course in Britain is?
Oh, mate, that's a tough question. Best I've played or best in Britain?
What would you say the best is?
Best is probably Turnberry.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Trump owns it, but it is probably the best golf course. Probably the best golf course in the world.
Is that Links course?
Yeah. It's probably the best golf course in the world, but very cool place.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? There's opinion polls, there's stuff that's pumped out, constantly about the best golf course, and then there's some. But on the other side of it, there is some amazing content online. There's a guy called Ginger Golf. I don't know if you've seen the guy. He set a world record this year for the most amount of courses played in a year. So he's 326 days in at the minute. He's played 530 odd golf courses, 580 golf course, 590 golf course. And he's doing it for charity. So stuff like that, it's a platform for amazing things like that. So I'm not negative about socials. I sit there and watch them. Doom scroll, they call it. I sit there and, usually on the toilet, because that's where we all sit. Let's be honest, that's where we all sit. And, got 20 minutes sat on the lay while just flick through some stuff. But so you sit there and watch it. But I think you've got to have the ability to challenge it, and to say, actually, what's real, what's not. I see a load of like exit people or M&A brokers who are brilliant, amazing. We do this, we do this, we do this. And when you actually look and see what they do, they just regurgitate shite that just comes back around the circle and
100%.
lots of big words. And
Yeah. It's quite refreshing to me to speak to someone who's like doing it without the social stuff, because I mean, the businesses we work with now, they're kind of maturing a little bit in the sense that they might use social media as like, they might give it to the secretary to do. I'll just do a post for us at the end of the day, or the 19-year-old niece is all right on TikTok.
But don't you think that's really dangerous, though?
Dangerous for the business, especially one that's doing like a lot of money.
Because that content is being produced by someone who understands content for that age bracket, not necessarily for that business.
100% true.
Have you found it change in the last few years?
100%.
In what direction?
The content landscape generally is so loud now and so noisy. It's like the whole information paradox. It's
What
like,
did Jamie say the other week? 9 billion pieces of content a day or something crazy
and
like that.
here's another crazy stat. Something like 96% of the content you'll see on the internet has been made in the last 24 hours. It's mad. Honestly, it's mad.
Think about all the good conversations you could actually have in that amount of time.
So my thoughts behind it is, it's always the answer to bad ideas is better ideas. The answer to
shit content is decent content. Is that where you're going with that?
Yeah, pretty much. So
lucky I'm sat here.
If you need something,
brilliant content.
If you need like let's say for example, someone's thinking about exiting. They're going to go through that buying process. They're going to go through that like awareness journey, and somewhere along that journey, they're going to look for content. Not because it's content itself. It's because essentially, it's just where the attention is.
But what I would say is, I don't know if you remember the old Lamborghini ad of going, why don't Lamborghini advertise?
Yeah,
because Lamborghini owners don't sit there looking for adverts.
Yeah,
and it's an interesting one, isn't it? That
was it Lamborghini?
Was it Lambo? Was it Ferrari? Was it Rolls Royce? Or
who was it that started advertising at plane exhibitions?
Oh yeah, they started.
Was it Rolls Royce?
Rolls Royce, I think, started
it. Didn't do any advertising, but then he started putting like a car in like a
in the plane exhibitions.
Yeah, because
the people that are buying planes can.
Yeah, Rolls Royce would be chump change to them.
And it's an interesting one, isn't it? But you look at the exit wise, and what you find is, for me. So if we're talking about mine and where mine comes from and exits, people who've got businesses who are at a point of exit tend to be surrounded by other people who've got businesses that they have either exited or they're looking to exit. Successful people surround themselves with successful people, and I think that's I know you subscribe to that theory and you get on with it and do it in the same way that I do. I make sure I surround myself with good people and successful people, and that builds you that network, and that builds you that support structure that goes, actually, I can look online, I can go into ChatGPT, put something, it tells me it's thinking, which we all know it's not, it's just working. It's just operating as a search engine. And it generates a load of stuff and we go, oh, brilliant. Okay? I mean, ChatGPT has completely destroyed marketing companies because it's basically doing what the bullshit and bluster they've done for the last 25 years.
100%.
And it's blowing them out of the water. But for actual stuff that you need to know, and when you're talking about, if I'm sitting there talking to someone who's got a £10 million business and they want to sell it, you are the type of person that's not going to trust the information you've been told. You're going to go and verify that information. So most of the clients that come to me have done a load of research in the first place, and then they want to talk to someone to say, is this actually right or not? And that's where I am with like the verifying information, where you need to verify, you need to understand. Trust but verify is the terminology in it for AI, a lot of it. Like it. And it's like you've got to verify, you've got to find out whether it's real or not. If for example, if you'd have put into ChatGPT or into an AI tool and said, should I get a bigger content room? It would give you a whole list of reasons why you would do it and a whole list of reasons why you wouldn't, but it wouldn't help you any further towards your decision.
No.
It could run you a financial forecast, but actually that decision you're going to make based on you, because you're not a computer and you're not a piece of internet, and you have a set of feelings and you have a set of stuff, and you're a human that goes, I need to actually work out whether this is right for me, and actually, am I comfortable telling my missus that we can't take the kids out for dinner tonight because I've just spent 25 grand on camera kit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you are, and that's what it can't tell you, and that's the bit it can do all the forecasting and stuff, and some of the forecasting stuff you see is hilarious on it, but you know, it can do all that side of it, but it's just information. You still got to be able to verify it, you still got to be able to trust it, you still got to be able to go out and work out whether it's real or not. And that's, you know, for me, where I think I spend my time doing the real bit rather than doing the, and I'm not saying social media is not real, I'm just saying that, like, I do the real bit and spend so much time doing the real bit. I haven't got the time to do the other bit.
I love it, mate.
And it makes me very different. The no website thing is quite funny because I've actually so I've gone a bit old school this year. So I was always digital business card, never had a business card, always had just a digital one that scanned people. And I actually met up with the commercial director in NatWest for the north of England. Lovely guy, brilliant guy, Julian Brooks, who's a great guy. And Julian and I were at thing in Chester, met him at a thing in Chester, and he gave me his business card. And I only had the digital one, and I realised he said something to me about the digital business card. It goes into someone's phone, and it goes into their contacts list. But it relies on you remembering my name for you to find me again. And I thought, so I went and saw Dan the man. And Dan just did me some business cards, and my business cards are erased because they're just black business cards with my name and my email address on and my phone number, and that's it. And there's nothing else on it. And it's just a black business card. I go, there you go. And you get secondary and tertiary business because it sits there and people have got it in their hand. Yeah. So it's quite interesting going a little bit old school with that.
Does that come into play when, ironically, when you exit the business? Do people look at like the website and the social media audience that you've got and all that?
What, for businesses that are being sold?
So let's say, for example, I go 10 years into the content room and I want to
digital assets.
Yeah. So if I've got an audience,
absolutely.
Let's say I monetize this podcast and I get an audience of an average of 50,000 people every. Yeah.
Because, but that's about finding value in the business. That's where, when you're valuing a business, looking for where the value is. For you, your value is in your digital assets because that's where your value sits. And then there's guys, you know, there's a guy I love working with him. We've never managed to do much together, but I love working with him, Nick Ashton, who runs, so they run a company who do, I can't remember Nick's company name, I'll send it to you, but they run a company that do digital due diligence. So they go and look at the websites, they go and look at all the digital assets, and they will work out how compromised they are. They will work out, you know, and this is for private equity. They do it for big companies. Brilliant. And they will go through your whole website. They'll basically hack it all and see what's hackable and what's not. They'll test every bit of security for it, and they'll look at every digital asset, and they will use that as a chipping block. Yeah. So if that comes out, that they will produce you basically a 300-point plan that says these are all the vulnerability points. And if there's 150 vulnerability points on there, the private equity company are going to go, right, we want £1 million off the price. So that's where your digital assets are really important. Your digital footprint is really important. So that's where I, again, go the other side and go, well, if I haven't got a digital asset, then I don't need to control it because actually it's something I don't have to worry about. So that's another piece for me where, you know, as I say, your digital footprint is really important, and your digital assets are really important because it's your business, and you making sure that that's got the right tone, got the right message. It's like we were saying that, you know, getting the 19-year-old to run your socials for you. Is it putting across the right message? Is it putting across the right piece? Because that will all get found out because it doesn't go anywhere. It stays there forever.
Paradox, isn't it?
Yeah. It's you know, but yeah, it's a, you know, from an exit perspective, it's huge because that is basically where the value is in your business. Yeah. All your content, all your followers, you know, that's a monthly recurring revenue with your followers. That you know, if you've got that many followers on YouTube, that's got monetary value. Maintaining that monetary value and keeping it up to speed is also really difficult. Maintaining content is really difficult.
Love it. This is the point where I'd usually say, I'm going to put the links around the video, so where you're gonna, but there's no links to put.
There is. You can just link it to you. Just link it to you.
If you want a referral to Adam, come to me, and I'll stick it on the big gap.
Just come and see Steve. Yeah, come and see Steve. You can get. But always happy to have a chat. Always happy to have a coffee and a sit down.
100%. One thing, since I've known Adam about over a year now, and he's helped me a ton without probably even knowing it.
No, I don't realise at all.
Yeah. But the impact, honestly, of just having a conversation with someone like Adam, I can't understate it enough. I can't overstate it enough. So yeah, if you want to speak to Adam,
You haven't asked me about my OnlyFans page and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. How's the foot page coming?
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, it's doing really well. Got loads of followers and everything. Are they followers? Are they subscribers? Got loads of subscribers. That's what it is.
One last thing, Boomerang.
Yeah.
It's going nicely now, isn't it?
So Boomerang's amazing. You're a member of the Liverpool group. Liverpool group's fabulous, which is our...
Bit of context on this. I actually started Boomerang literally when I had my second little boy last year.
Yeah, I remember you.
And for the first 2 or 3
looking
months,
dead.
everyone just probably looked at me and went, who the hell's this guy?
Shadow of a man.
This year, it's been an absolute game changer in the business. And just like knowing people like yourself and Dave and Helen and Jamie and all the guys in there, the work and the team that's kind of doing work, kind of just passing between each other now. Like I know Mappo, Dan have got an office together.
Oh yeah, they've built
all that kind of stuff is going mental, and it's been amazing, really. So, really, from a personal point of view, I'm really interested in what Wirral's going to look like.
So Wirral was first meeting was today. So I've been there this morning. Great. We've got at the minute. So Dave and I's focus for the first year was to get the flagship Liverpool group set up, which is what we've done. Really, that group's a brilliant group, great group of people, great energy, great vibe in the room. But it's really important for us with the first group to get it right, and I think we have. We've got that really right. It sits really well, and like you never have a more fun Thursday morning. And you're right. When you first started, you were dead essentially. Yeah. You could have carried your laptop in the bags under your eyes, bless you.
I'm being brutally honest, there was times where I could have just poo-pooed it.
I reckon there was times where you don't remember turning up.
Yeah, literally.
Because he looked like that.
Yeah. I think
with the greatest respect, Steve, of course.
I definitely underestimated 2 kids. I mean, I think it was more because our first one just slept like a log. So our second one hasn't. So that was kind of like a tricky one.
But so the first Liverpool group was a big one for us to set up. Now, obviously, we're now pushing for franchisees. So we've got opportunities for franchisees alone. We've got some new franchisees. We've got someone starting in Chester. We've got one in Manchester. We've got one in Derby. And we've got the one that Wirral North launched today. So that's their first meeting today. Really good meeting. And Boomerang will just continue to spread now across the UK. If anyone wants to talk about franchisees, you can actually look on the Boomerang site. There's a website there, Steve. Look at that. You can put a link on for that if you want. Nice. Or they can give me a shout and have a chat about it.
It's cool, just seeing it grow like that. And one thing I'm really fascinated about Chester, because Chester, it goes under the radar a bit, I always think, because it's got a really solid business community down there.
Really solid, really strong, strong groups of people. I mean, our initial startup looks like they've got 12 to start with before they've even had a meeting. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that one. I'm looking forward to that, but it won't be until the new year. We'll do something with that in the new year. But at the minute, Wirral North up and running, and Liverpool, obviously. So if people want to come, more than welcome. I'm sure you can give them an invite.
Thanks so much for your time, mate. Really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
The Boomerang link will be around, and I'll link Blunt Spoons anyway. But yeah, conversations are there to be had, so please have them because Adam's amazing. Cheers, mate. Appreciate your time. We are done.